Greetings, party people, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Starfall. This story is the Jade Odyssey, and so far we've seen our players get into great peril in the dreamscape, and I'm excited to return to the action tonight with some of my good friends. Let me introduce you to them. Folks, please tell us your name, who you're playing, and how you think your character thinks they're now that Azazel the mage has showed up. What are your odds? What are the odds? What are the bookie odds? What's the over under from your character's perspective? Matt.
Hi, my name is Matthew Talamini. I am a writer and web developer based in Providence, Rhode Island, and you can find my stuff at MatthewTalamini.com. That's Matthew TALAMINI.com. Crocular is kind of into it. I mean, he'll fight. He's willing to fight, but also maybe negotiate.
Senses a little bit of a kindred spirit here.
Maybe my boss knows this guy.
Hey, enemies are just allies you haven't negotiated with yet. Care to take it away? Tell us your name, who you're playing, and how you think your character feels about what's going on.
Inion Tumley is here, and he is ready to see trouble and shoot it. And he sees some trouble, and he's got a lot of arrows to shoot it with, and some bolts too.
Jared, take it away.
Hey, my name's Jared. I am playing Ivan, who's in a frenzied rage right now. He's kind of releasing a lot of pent-up things, so he's probably not, like, stopping to think about it. But if he was, if he stopped and caught his breath for a minute, he would probably start to feel all of the gashes and gouges in him and not be looking forward to this demon lord.
It's true. You've been more than aggressively exfoliated at the moment. LT.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm LT. I play as Waggletop, the gnome. Waggletop knows that we're supposed to confront our demons, but this is a little too on the nose.
Don't judge me for my mediocre writing. All right, Jacob.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jacob Burbridge. I am the son of the previous season's DM, and I am playing Boslin, who is not there. So he does not know what an Azazel is. At best, flavor of chocolate. So, best guess.
And
Azazel nut.
Azazel nut. Wow, there's got to be a better joke in there. And soon we will be joined by Aaron, who will be playing Veda, the half-elf ranger. And I'm sure that Veda has a lot of feelings about the young ladies that and not saved by the party. But we'll have to hear more from the horse's mouth soon. When last we met, we left the party. Several heroes confronting a scene of horror, gore, fire, and blood. Blows had been exchanged, had been vanquished, and a new foe had arisen of an evil summoning circle. Azazel, the goat man mage, arose from the flames. Cried out in horror and anguish at the havoc that you had wrought upon his homunculus type entity that had been fused into the eye socket of the view that led up into the tower. We will come back to the players and their confrontation of this evil mage in a moment. Now, we need to ask a question. Where on earth has that little orc boy and that mechanical goose been during the fight? As some of you may have noticed, The boy and the clockwork goose did not appear during any of the turns. We see Voss laying on his side, squirming back and forth, tied up with thick knots of rope. In his stomach at the proposition of possibly breaking these bonds and unleashing the inner demon upon the world. Boslin, filth, itching, maddeningly, unable to scratch yourself or wipe the fleas away, rolling around in the dirty floor of this hovel for what seems like hours. Tell me, as Boslin lays there, does he have any regrets about anything? Is he the kind of being even capable of regrets?
Well, for one, he regrets letting a demon into him, obviously. That's not a really like sound logical decision at all. One that he didn't even get to make. So that's something that he's been mulling over for a while.
Hey man, there are consequences to rolling ones, okay?
Yeah.
So as you lay there in the dirt, you become more and more desperate, knowing that there is no right of exorcism over you. You dare not break your bond. You unleash evil upon the world, and yet you know, you can hear actually faintly the cries, the screams, the clangs of metal, and you know that your friends are in danger. You hear a scratching at the door. You hear the sound of beating wings outside the hut on the other side. And after a few moments, you see the flap that you were unceremoniously dumped through open, and you see a pork child and a goose, mechanical clockwork goose, come in. It's over to you and says, "Please, you gotta help. All your friends are in danger. You gotta get out there. They just, please hurry." And the boy pulls out a knife and reaches to cut your bonds.
Thank you, but I insist, before we go, I should cleanse the disgust in me. It will not take very long, I assure you. We only need something to draw on.
The young orc boy pulls a piece of chalk out of his pocket and says, What do you need me to do? You just say the thing and I'll do it."
All right. First, you draw a circle, and then you say, "Hate begone!" like a lot of times. Eventually, one of the times, it'll be the right kind of hate that you're begoning, and the demon's out of there. It's super simple.
You see that the boy and the goose begin kind of hopping around, doing this little dance, hopping from one leg to the other. And you see the boy every now and then will draw a stick figure in the dirt, and then he'll jump up and wave his arms and shout, "Hate begone!" And the goose will flap its wings and begin honking. They do this for what seems like 10 minutes straight, and eventually the boy collapses in tears, and you see a light begin to suffuse you and the boy. And in the flames of the fire in the middle of the room, you see a darkness. It seems as though the flame begins to turn black, and instead of giving off light, it absorbs the light from the room. In the corner of the room, faint shadow hunched over, and you hear the sound of wood scraping inside of a wooden bowl. An old woman emerges from the shadows, scraping with a mortar and pestle herbs in the bottom of the bowl, and you can see that she has some sort of water skin hanging from a leather strap around her neck towards you, and you see that she is ancient in her face and her skin. It's deeply, deeply creased, and yet she has piercing blue eyes. She comes over to you and she sticks fingers into the bowl, and she looks at you and says, "You have a darkness in you, boy. You are troubled." It seems you have something within you must release, yes? Slaps you across the face with all this stuff in her hand, and you feel a splatter. And as she slaps all of this goo across your face, you feel pungent medicinal auras going up your nose. And immediately your stomach begins tensing up in knots. She looks at you and says, "There is something within you that does not belong, but I sense you do not wish to release it upon the world, no?"
No, I'd rather die than let it loose, but I fear that'll lead only to the result.
She pulls a dagger out of her belt and holds it up to your neck and says, "You wish to die, boy? That can be arranged. Tell me, do you wish to be free or free?" And you know immediately she means, do you wish to release that which is within you, or do you wish to receive the sweet release of death?
Boslin looks long and hard, and he's actually going to he's going to use divine sense and just send out a ping, just make sure that whatever is tempting him isn't actually the demon that's trying to release himself. So is it a celestial fiend or undead?
It is none of those. And as you cast the spell, you get just a second where you get that reading, and then it feels spiritually as though you have been slammed by a giant on the other side of your soul. And she says, "I will do the searching into the depths, boy. You need to know nothing but that I am the one who will help you deliver this evil within your spirit. Now, which release will you receive?" And she holds up the bowl and she holds up the dagger.
I'd rather die than let this demon go.
Let it go? Oh, you will not let it go. But you must bring it out from you. No mother gives birth to her babe and casts it aside. She must suckle it until it is ready to eat true food. Will you be a mother? Or will you be a corpse? And when she says a corpse, you can see a blinding flash of light in her eyes. And you see an image of your friend all perishing and dying by the sword.
So the knife is on my neck, right?
She removed it from your neck. She's now holding up a knife and a bowl in front of you.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I'm out of fancy words. Whichever gets rid of the demon, I want that one. Okay, just enough with the riddle, please.
Finally, trust for your midwife. He is smarter than he appears. And she pats you on the cheek. She pulls out the flask of. She takes the flask of water that had been hanging from a strap around her shoulder, and you see her pour a lot of this water into the bowl, and she swishes it around and hands it to you and says, "Drink this, boy, and drink it quickly in one." Roll me a Constitution saving.
All right. It's 14, but it was this close to a natural 20.
Nice.
Yeah, 14.
With a 14, you choke this down. You gag just a little bit, but you drink it. She takes the bottle and upends it and pours the rest of it over you and says, "In the midnight waters, life will come. What skill? It strikes. And she slashes at your stomach, and you see your insides open up, and emerging from the your core, you see the same little imp that you saw in the forest. You see the head of a bear and body of a raven. You see frog legs clambering out, and you see blood feathers, and the being grows until it's about the size of like a large parrot, like a macaw or something like that. And it hisses at you, winks, and then flies out the window. In a moment, your bonds fall off of you, and as you're clutching your belly, then the woman comes over to you, moves your hands away, and says, "Do not fear. Your child is not legal, but upon you." And she stabs you in the chest with her finger, and in a flash of light, she is gone, and you are in the hut. You see the little boy and the goose in the corner huddling with each other, and you see the little boy say, "Did that lady just pull a demon out of you? Are you a mom? What's going on?"
I think she did. I don't think I am, and I have no idea. But we need to help. And he's going to get on his feet and walk towards the door, opening the flap, holding it up so that he can, the little boy and his clockwork goose can go out as well. Whatever they're fighting up there, God knows I'm gonna fight with them. And he's, he's waiting to hold up the door flap, but he's also heading out that way.
The little boy and the goose say, the little boy says, "Come with me, I know where they are." And you see the little boy and the goose go tearing down the road in immense stonework bastion with the giant crystal eye above it.
All right.
We cut back to our main party of heroes. When last we saw the action, Azazel had arisen from the fiery pit that had opened up in the center of the room where the homunculus once was. He had bleated out in anguish and had pointed at all of you and made threats. Ladies and gentlemen, for now, roll for, or I believe we still have initiative. So I don't even need to make you roll for.
Thought so.
Yeah. Enion, there is a goat man of extreme wickedness who has just emerged from a pit and has threatened all of you. He has flames in his hands and flames in his eyes. What do you do?
Is everybody else taken care of? Is it just him, or?
There are still a couple of goat men that are huddling in the corner. They have seen that you've wrought upon the huntsman who has collapsed to the ground, the Nothics that have been crushed by the tentacles summoned by Crocular. You see that your Ivan is dripping in blood. He is covered in cuts, although to the keen eye, you would notice that they are shallow. That would have rent a man's flesh, flayed him to the bone, have merely pierced shallowly into Ivan's tough hide. But yes, right now, it is Azazel floating in the middle of the room.
Gotcha. I'm gonna shoot at him with my bow, because that's what I do. Does a 22 hit?
A 22 does hit. You see him throw up a hand, and you see a shield flashes before him, and your arrow just pierces through. For a split second, you see it. Then it keeps going, and it stabs into his shoulder, and he bleats out in anger and pain.
Nice. I turned that into a distracting strike, so I rolled that D8 and got a 7. And then damage is 8 plus 7 is, what is that, 15? And the next person to attack, as long as someone attacks him before my turn, will get advantage on him.
Okay.
Think-
Ivan, this mage, this necromancer, you don't know exactly what kind of magic wielder he is, but he is appeared before you.
Okay. Wait, am I unmuted? Yeah, okay. Do you guys remember if I like run up and pin this guy, can he still do spells on us?
So
Dang it. Okay.
yeah, there are different spells that require different verbal and somatic components. Let me check something real quick.
If you have something that says you can incapacitate him or like mute him or restrain him, I think is the word.
Yeah, being in the grappled condition does not stop spell casting, but if you're restrained, it will prevent them from casting if it has a somatic component.
So that would be I would need to do a grappling pin, I think. Okay, and then also just a little bit of context that Ivan would know. We've done these dreamscape things a couple times, and have we ever died in them, or has Brick been like, if you die in these, you'll die in real life?
You have not ever been in a dreamscape scenario that has been this violent, this battle focused. A lot of times there'll be some amount of conflict or whatever, but this is definitely unlike others in the past. For starters, you had some appear next to you when you first got into the dream. That's never happened. This much violence, this much darkness, also a first. So you're not quite sure what to expect. A lot of the rules that you've asked haven't applied.
Okay. Well, Ivan's in a rage. He's not even going to roll anything to see if he stops and thinks. He will turn to this demon guy and let's see. Is he within 30 feet?
Now, Azazel is a goat man, not a demon, just so you know. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He's quite
Okay.
close to you. He's only like 15 feet away.
Ivan's just still in he's still in a frenzy for 6 turns, so he's gonna run after that guy and take 2 attacks.
Okay.
Okay, 18 plus 18 plus 6, 24 for the first one.
That actually does hit a spellcaster where it does.
Okay. 7 plus 6. So that's 13 damage for the first hit.
Okay.
And then if he's still standing, let's see, 14, 20 for a dirty 20 for the second attack.
That hits.
And 9 damage for the second one. That's kind of a lot.
Excellent.
That's intense.
He's coming in
That's
swinging.
very intense.
Ah!
You see, you have just gouged into this poor guy. I mean, you're just wailing on him like a tree, and you see blood is splattering everywhere. You've heard the sickening crunch of bones as you've just laid devastation into his, and you see him fall to his knee next to the still form of the Dragonborn, and you see him mutter something under his breath, and he looks
Oh no!
at you and smiles with a wicked grin, spits some blood, wipes it from his mouth, and says, "You may have bested me in my own domain, but it will be your tomb." Waggletop,
Big oak man.
it is your turn.
That was the Dragonborn that said that?
The Goatman.
Oh, okay. The
Azazel
Goatman
said
said
that.
that.
He placed his hand upon the Dragonborn, cast
Okay,
a spell, and all of you saying
Okay.
that you might have vanquished him, but this will be your turn.
Is the Dragonborn dead?
You see dark necromantic energy surging through his body, and that thick brown fur is beginning to grow in patches on his body.
Oh no. Shape shifting again. Let's see, Waggletop. But he's like unconscious or something on the ground, and Azazel's got his hand on him.
Yes.
Okay. Waggletop is not very strong. He, I think, is going to try to tackle Azazel to get him off because he wants Big Moose for himself.
Okay.
So that's a tackle. I guess that's going to be a grappling or what? He just wants to tackle him.
Yeah,
wants to get
make
him
me
off
an
the
athletics
Dragonborn.
check.
Athletics, okay. +1. 20 plus 1 is 21.
21. Yeah, holy
Those guys
cow.
got
You rolled a
spirit.
20?
Yeah, I
Roll
rolled
me-
20.
Roll me a D6.
D6. 2.
Crud. This poor guy. Azazel having 2 hit points left after being shot in the face with an arrow that his shield could not stop, and then being hacked on mercilessly. Barbarian takes a shoulder to the chin, and you hear a snap as Waggletop's diminutive body, just enough, going full speed to deal 2 points of hit point damage and finish this poor guy off in his own home. Now, having tumbled end over end in the dirt and the blood with Azazel, you look up and you see that this Dragonborn, its body is growing. Like, this Dragonborn already weighed probably a good 400 pounds. I mean, it's a 7-foot tall, big barrel chested warrior, but you see his body expanding and swelling and growing. You see all of his arms and legs getting longer and longer. You see his tail somehow bends a little bit, and you see spines growing off of it, but his head begins to elongate and grow much more amorphous, and you see it turning into an octopus head, and you see enormous octopus tentacles growing out in the shape of horns, and you see his body growing into the enormous bull moose, and you see his legs scrambling and flailing, and he gets up on all fours, looks at you, Waggletop, and bellows with rage, charging at you. Make me tell me, what is your AC?
12.
12. Okay. Well, buddy, this moose rolls a 20 charging at you. He crits charging at you. Oh man, you don't have the hit points for this.
I almost certainly do not.
9. Oh boy, we got to consult. He critted on you too, and he's a special mob, which means
Did
that
he have to move away from Ivan at all to do this?
he did. He did
Yeah.
have to disengage Ivan, you can make me a opportunity attack as he charges away from you.
Ah! Oh, I rolled a 1.
Ah,
I
Ivan
dropped my
accidentally opportunity attacks himself.
axe respectfully as he leaves.
Hand it to him to use on use on Waggletop.
All right, so Ivan, what was your attack? Sorry,
I rolled a 1.
you rolled a 1. Fantastic. Okay, well, there's enough going on here. Ivan just cleanly swings at the air and whiffs as the with shocking speed, and by the time Ivan's weapon gets there, the moose is gone. Waggletop, you take 9 points of damage to, and you take 4 points drain. One of your ability scores goes down by 4. And in an effort to be merciful to you, we're going to decide this.
yes.
It says that I get to choose, but I'm going to do it randomly. All right, so obviously starting with 1 being
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In strength, dex.
Yeah, so we're going to go strength,
int, whiz,
charisma, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3. You take 3 points of constitution damage. No,
Boy.
no. I
How did you do
rolled
that?
so that it wouldn't be constitution.
Oh man.
How do you take
Wait.
ability damage?
Now your
So-
constitution is
Change.
Yeah, you would have to go into.
Oh, I
your
can do a
character.
modifier and add.
There you go,
minus,
yes.
How much? -4.
You take 4 points of ability drain, so that means your modifier goes down by 2.
And I am now in death saves.
Woohoo!
Hey, at least you're making death saves.
His
Does
hit
that-
points, his
that-
max hit points are going to go down by 6 too.
Yeah, I only had 4 left.
No, but that's your max hit points that go down by 6.
Oh. Yeah. how does
Yeah,
that- the sheet put me on death saves. I don't know if that. How does that work? Does it just reduce my max?
take that damage to your con, you also lose hit points because your hit points go down. Yeah, that's brutal, buddy. That's just real. Let's see here. Crocular, it is your turn.
So there's a giant supernatural moose running around. It just smashed Waggletop.
With an octopus tentacle, antlers, and a dragon tail.
It's
Okay, so I'm definitely getting some Princess Mononoke vibes. And Crocular has seen that. It was in another dimension when he saw it, but he has seen it. And I think, how close am I to Waggletop?
Fairly close. You're within about.
Okay, so I'm going to go up to Waggletop and I'm going to try to stabilize him. So, oh, sorry. I'm going to make a medicine check. 19.
You got it.
+2 is 21.
Waggletop, you are stable. You open your eyes. You are in more pain than you have ever experienced in
Well, I
your
think-
life. What's
I
that?
think I think he's still unconscious for 1d4 hours.
I thought you revive someone. You know what? I'm going to
It's up to
say
you,
with
Mr. DM.
yeah, we're in the dreamscape. You attended him immediately. You rolled over a 20. Waggletop, you come back to consciousness almost immediately. You saw a light ahead of you. You saw a light at the end of the tunnel, and you thought, thank you for a way out of this. You come to in this amount of pain. Your body is covered in these sucker marks, and at the center of each of these sucker marks, there are divots taken. You have sprained ankles and sprained joints and fractured bones. You're in just a world of pain, but you are breathing with 1 hit point.
1 hit point. Okay.
And I'm going to use the other 20 feet of my movement to back away from this moose.
Fair enough. Not a bad idea.
I just want to not be near it. I don't want to be near Waggletop, and I don't want to be near the moose. I don't want to be near anybody.
Enion.
Just in case it can AoE us.
Enion. Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on. Just then, barge gates of through the doorway of the stone fortress, you see Boslin running full tilt with a little boy and a mechanical clockwork goose.
Question: do I still have my battle axe? When taking that,
Yes, I'll say after you, right? Unless did one of you guys specifically take it? Okay, yeah. Then they shoved it in the window after you. I mean, you were tied up, so what was it going to do you?
Yeah. Aside from being a sharp blade next to very cuttable rope, but that's in the past.
It was the heat of the moment.
So it's my turn.
It is your turn.
Going to see.
Is Azazel's gone, right? Or is he still there?
You see a goat man sticking out of the top of his head and just a ton of huge axe gashes in his body, and he ain't moving, and you do the math.
Boslin does do the math and is quite surprised that he got here and finished up one of the demons before arriving. So he is going to. Do I see the other person, like the octopus guy?
Yeah, in the middle of the room, near the middle of the room, huge moose with a dragon tail and an octopus face, and its tentacles are all out arranged in a giant moose antler shape.
All right. Yeah. I'm going to cast Divine Favor and Heroism, both on myself, which is a bonus action and an action, respectively. That's going to give me 3 temporary. Huh?
Are they both spells?
Yeah.
So one of the rules of D&D is that you can roll one spell. You can cast one spell per turn, unless you've got a certain ability that lets you do that. Do you have a particular ability that?
Or if one of them is a cantrip.
So automatically exempt. But
okay.
Thanks for trying.
Cast. From you, about 30 feet.
Fantastic. I'm going to cast Divine Favor as a bonus action. I shouldn't roll that yet. My weapon attacks are going to deal an extra 1d4 damage. Then I'm going to run 30 feet to the moose and make a battle axe attack. I'll see.
Excellent.
I guess.
With a burst of divine
light. Does a 7 hit?
No, it does not. With a burst of divine light, Boslin erupts in luminous energy, swings at it, and the tail flicks up and parts your blade, parts the head of your axe. Enion, it is your. You've seen Boslin jump into the fray and swing at this moose and miss.
Gotcha. I continue to back up. So who's standing next to the moose?
So Boslin is
Just
next to the moose. Yep. as is Ivan. Did you?
That was as it was running away.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Waggletop's on the
Um,
ground in front of it, and Crocular is over Waggletop in front of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
Rocky, we're back up
I
there.
will. I will use my action surge, and I will attack him 2 times. So he gets
Woohoo.
2 arrows to the face. Well, let's make sure. Okay, does an 8 hit?
Sadly, it does not.
That was a natural 1, if that's helpful.
Barfaroni. It does help. Let's consult the critical cards.
Well, you got critical cards?
Oh, I forgot you had those. That's fun. Uh-oh. I mean,
Nasty.
The deck of failures.
The deck of failures.
Didn't you already use it on Ivan?
I really hope God never uses a deck of failures on me.
Okay. All right. Very good. You see the one of the antlers, one of the tentacles grabs the arrow out of the air and then whips it back at you. Does a oh
I am as
nuts.
many as 150 feet away from this character.
Holy cow. I rolled a 20 to counterattack you,
Mhm.
which means that I rolled double damage on a d6, and I rolled a 6 on each of the 6s. So you take 12 points of damage as this thing just snatches one of your arrows out of the air and just pierces you right in the top of the shoulder, just above your heart. You can feel yourself beginning to lose some blood.
Gotcha. Am I close enough to it for him to do that attack?
He flung the arrow back at you.
Yeah, but what's the range of that fling?
It's thrown. So I mean, how many feet away were you under the impression that you were?
It's your
I was
distance
hoping
plus
to
5.
be. I was hoping to be as many as 150 feet away from him.
Okay, so before you were there, if you were 150 feet away, you'd be out of the fight because this room only has about a 30-foot radius.
No,
Yeah,
I'm only 30 feet away.
yeah.
Okay,
You can be
well
off in
then
the
I'm going to attack him again.
Yeah, go ahead. I
How's
wanted to.
a 16 to hit?
That hits.
Phew, that wasn't a very good roll.
So do you draw a card from that deck on 1s and 20s? For just 1s?
So, yeah, if you roll a 1, there are critical failure options as well.
I just barely hit him for 4 damage.
For 4 damage. Hey, you better start hacking on him now because things are not going to get better the longer you wait to do that. Ivan, you see that this moose, octopus, dragon thing, Moose, Waggletop's nemesis, has just flung an arrow back at your elven archer and stabbed him grievously and has only taken a pinprick himself. Your foe stands strong.
Ah! Ivan rolls. Ivan runs at him. He's still in a rage. Let's see, does a 14 hit?
It does not.
He takes his first swing, and what happens? Does he dodge? Does he block with his antlers?
These tentacles whip around, and one of them slaps your weapon down, and so it glances.
He's.
I think you muted yourself. Oh,
Did you slap the mute button?
Slapping that hard, huh?
No, I didn't slap any buttons. So, can you hear me now?
we got you.
Okay, so if he slaps my weapon down, Ivan spins with it and goes around turns it into a spin attack for a 21.
That hits.
Ooh, 16 damage.
Woohoo! The moose bellows loudly, and you feel the vibration in your chest as the stones mildly shake and tremor. Waggletop, you have 1 hit point. You lay in the dirt, in the mud formed of your own blood, with Crocular, your healing angel, leaning over you, and a bellowing moose with an octopus
No.
head and
I
a
pieced
dragon
out.
tail.
I'm on the other side of the room. I'm far away from this moose. I'm
That's
nowhere
right.
near him.
You see your
Yeah, he backed
brave healing angel scuttling away
Running
from
away.
you fearfully.
Let's see. I'm going to cast Improved Minor Illusion. I'm going to make, on either side of me, blades shoot up with a kind of a shink sound as if they're coming out of the dirt, and I'm going to run away to discourage an opportunity attack.
Very good.
I'm going to try to convince him not to swipe at me while I run.
You see Moose rear up on its hind legs and back away from these blades that have erupted and are kind of, doing a little
they're just
Ginsu
like,
twirl.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's just minor illusion. They're not moving.
They stick up,
Yeah.
and it immediately them and moves 5 feet away and does not try to go after you as you move back.
Yes.
We see Veda over in the corner with her herself between the young maiden and the moose. You see that she has just the last of the goat men. They have fled out some small servants' exit in the back of the building, and she draws her bow, points it at Moose, and lets fly an arrow. And we see it shoot and clatter off of the stones just above Moose's shoulder. Oh boy. Yeah. So Boslin, this moose turns and faces you, and you see it drop its head down, and it tries to gore at you with these tentacles. But rather than being stabbed, they flail at you and they try to wrap around your face. Does a 16 hit you? Okay. Roll me a Constitution saving throw as you feel suckers latch onto your face and neck and upper chest, and you feel 100 little beaks pinch into your flesh.
13.
13. Yeah, you feel the sucked out of your body as you take of damage as the very life juices from your body are drained from you. This tail whips at where Crocular was, in that direction of where Crocular and Waggletop were. You see it fly over spikes, and he tries to slash at you, but you've all pulled away out of reach of him. Crocular, it is your turn.
All right, this big fuzzy buddy is going to get a short bow arrow, if I can manage it. Always backing away. Crocular is going to, how do I make it roll? Attack. Okay, I'll just roll it in Google. 17 plus 5 is 22 to hit.
That hits.
And then this D&D Beyond is not rolling for me. I thought it would. Rolled a 1 on the D6, plus 3 is 4 damage.
Excellent.
Thwip, thunk.
Boy, you guys really like doing 4 damage to this thing.
Guys, I used both of my spell
One for
slots
each leg.
on destroying all of the Nothics. I have nothing left.
Nothing but cantrips. Cantrips ain't nothing, baby. Boslin, it is your turn.
All right.
Remember, you've got Divine Favor giving you an extra D4 to your weapon.
Nice. Speaking of weapon
Boslin's-
rolls, I'm going to do just that and try and hit him with my battle axe. Does a 15 hit? Yes, finally. Now I can activate my trap card, I guess. I'm going to use my Divine Smite freely whenever I land a melee attack, and that's
Okay.
going to add an extra 1d8 damage to the roll,
Okay.
plus 1d8 plus 2. So that's 2, and then a d4, I think, for my Divine Favor. And yeah, I'm gonna roll that. Nice. 14 damage.
And what weapon are you using? A great axe?
Axe.
Okay.
Yeah. And 7 of that damage is radiant, which deals extra damage. Fiends, I think, if they have vulnerability to it.
Okay.
Also,
Yeah.
if this target is a fiend, you get to roll an extra 1d8 damage. So
He is not a...
that's too bad.
It is.
It also
Such a
works
shame.
on undead, but I
He's
got
an
that.
evil shape-shifting shaman.
So,
As your axe sinks into his flesh, you see an eruption of light, and this moose bellows louder than before. You have all wounded this, and you can see several large gashes, excuse me, are open and bleeding profusely. You see a desperation in its movements. It's looking around to see who it can bring down first. Enion.
I'm
It
also
is
going
your
to
turn.
move my movement to. I'd also
You
like
wanna-
to use my movement to move away from the next moose. So that's 30
Okay.
feet away. Just
Okay,
right back.
you see the tail of this thing whip, and
Oh.
it just completely pulls up at the wrong time. You see he tries to take the spikes on the top of his tail up your body, but he just ends up pulling his tail up way too soon, and you feel a terrifyingly strong wind wash over your body, but you take no damage. Enion.
I will hit him again with the old long bow. Or at least try to. 17.
Hits.
It will do 6 damage. Enion will then use his second wind and bonus action to regain 6 hit points.
To regain.
Haha, I took
Congratulations.
6 hit points from you and gave them to me.
You just got to straw.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, you just drank moose shaman juice, and now your chest becomes really creepily hairy, like twice as hairy as Selic. Ivan.
Ivan's still just hacking away at his side, So, in his frenzied rage, he gets a 15. Ooh, and a, let's see, 25.
Ivan, what does it look like as you finish this fool? Because with a 15 and a roll me the damage. Let's see how badly you lay him low.
Okay.
In devastation.
Well, the first one I rolled as low as I could, so it's 7. Both 7s. Wow.
He had less than 7 left. So congratulations, It's still overkill. What does it look like as this thing?
I think he's just trying to chop him in half. He's like beside him, trying to chop him in half.
I will say that with all those points of damage, you sever squishy octopus stuff, connects with the rest of his body, and you just swoosh, slash through all the octopus flesh like sashimi, and begin flapping and squishing around on the floor, tentacles whipping around, and you see that its mouth is working open and closed, and then its tongue lays out, and you see blue and purple ichor flowing out of the octopus head, and the moose body and dragon tail collapse to the ground. Congratulations!
No! He's dead again. Is that Orc Boy here?
Yes, he is. You see the Orc Boy is over in.
Go over to that Orc Boy.
And the girl. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna say, Brick, what is this? How does this get me back to being my natural dwarven self? This is insane.
With that, you see as all. And afterwards, as you compare notes, you realize this together, that the moment Ivan's blade severed through of Moose, the Orc Boy began. And you see that Orc Boy.
Oh, wait, is it actually Brick?
Getting taller, and you see Brick standing before you, and the Clockwork Goose transforms into Swan Aarakocra. And you see the two of them stand before you, and Brick says,
great evil happen here. I ashamed, highly unprofessional. This supposed to be for therapy purpose, and you all been exposed to evil. Please forgive me and accept unlimited free time for the next week. But for now, heck out of here. This not safe.
Can we do it again?
You crazy, but I like willingness to lean into the hard work. You get talking stick first when we do group therapy. All right, everybody, come with me.
And you see, what's that? No, he says he.
Well, yeah.
Question. He stops and looks at you.
This wasn't supposed to happen. They weren't supposed to kill him.
Yeah, therapy's supposed, but not like super evil, where scarred by therapy, than just kind of getting on with problems. But I'm pretty sure Karen behind all. When I came into Dream World with Inion here,
and he claps a shoulder claps a hand on your shoulder, Inion. Says,
Rock here and I were changed by evil magics. Kind of only done by one evil. Karen.
Big.
This.
Oh.
You see his huge orc nostrils flare.
The stinks of her evil perversions. She cast dream spell on me and Rock and turn us into only kinds of things she could turn us into. Not real big secret. I really have small me full of wonder for beauty of the world. So naturally Karen turned me into little boy. And Rock here, well,
Oh, I thought that was part of my therapy. And Waggletop just starts crying silently.
Rock comes over to you and lays a hand on you, and he of the 4 of ability drain as you feel this spell of restoration wash over you, and you see all these open pus, like all the places where the little pinchers inside of the suction cups had taken divots out of your flesh. Every single one of them angry and red and just weeping with yellow pussy ooze, and you feel all those little spots heal and your skin heal over.
That was Waggletop?
That was Waggletop.
Yeah, okay.
Karen, I was into Karen when they first came out. They are so passe. Karen, what a poser.
It's pronounced poseur.
Yeah. Brick shakes your head. Says,
We all make foolish choices. Glad to see you growing past that phase. That's good. Now, if any of you want to not die in evil, horrible hellscape nightmare, I highly suggest come with me.
Maybe we should stay here and take her out.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed slaughtering all of
Waggletop.
the demons back there. So
Waggletop is crying still, but he's following Brick.
yeah. Brick looks at you, Inion, and says,
It's kind of not good for therapists to say, but are you crazy? Karen is god of evil, and we are in a place of her power because she has many tendrils and hooks into this nightmare place. This not safe.
I got 13 arrows left, and each one has one of the letters of her name on it.
Again, stick
Bring that candle
attitude to
group therapy.
Let's go.
And Brick and
aren't we
Rock.
in group therapy?
Everything group therapy if right mindset.
My goodness, you guys grow out of me too soon.
And he pats you. And he charges out the gateway of the stone fortress. As all of you are running, you exclaim.
And just a bit.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
Just a note of flavor. Ivan runs with them, but he's much slower than the rest of them, and he's running a little ways behind. He suffered 2 fatigue from going into 2 frenzied rages, which halves his speed. So he's really tired, and he looks probably a little bit older as he follows behind.
You see, as you guys emerge from the stone fortress, you see the 5 sisters are all riding unicorns, and you see several unicorns in the herd behind them. And you see all the 5 sisters dismount and rush forward to Veda and their sister, and they all embrace the sister, and that you see that a number of them are muttering to this girl and weeping as they discover that you were not able to get there in time and save their 7th sister. But you see the oldest of them says, "No time to weep, no time to mourn. We must leave this place before Karen's eye turns upon it. Come." And all of you to these unicorns, and they bear you away as the wind is whipping in your face, and you feel the cool air of the night rushing across you. All of you wake up, and you see above you a spinning chandelier of crystals, and you reach up and pull off of your head crystal head pieces that had been keeping you connected in the dreamscape. Brick looks at all, says,
Again, me sorry beyond words for putting you through that. but all of you, I think, learned a great deal. Maybe this good time to get some juice, maybe some crackers, rebuild electrolytes, and we meet for group therapy in, say, 1 hour. We good?
Yeah.
Asks all of you if you're good in 1 hour.
I'm fine with that. Do you have any chalk that I could use for a moment?
He looks over at Rock and says,
Is chalk on list of things he not allowed to have?
and you see he
Kind of unfurls it, drops it
on the ground, it rolls away, and he's like, and Rock's just kind of looking at it, like, gives him a thumbs up. Hands you a piece of chalk.
Thank you. And he's gonna go off to. Do we all have like different quarters? Like
Yes, each of you
different
basically
rooms?
has the equivalent of a room on a hall. Yep.
All right. Well, I'm
It's
gonna
not
go
like a
into my
prison
room.
cell. It's not a full on, suite or anything, but it's a couple of rooms. It's a place to sleep.
All right. Well, I'm going to go into my room and just start drawing every celestial sigil known to man to try and just boomy trap the room from any kind of demonic invasion.
Enough. Roll me a
Anything at
religion
all.
check. Roll me a religion check.
I have a +2 to that. Still a 10 with an 8. Wow.
Boy, you are certain. You look back with a sense of pride and satisfaction as you are certain no bad mojos getting in here.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody else? Does anybody else need to do anything between now and when you guys are going to meet for group therapy in an hour?
Ivan goes to take a nap.
Yeah.
What is my current hit point status?
In the real waking world, you are all full. None of these
Okay.
conditions carry over into the real world.
How about spell slots?
Oh yeah.
Spell slots also full.
So it's as if we took a long rest.
Yes.
It's like we took a long rest.
Yeah, if you're missing anything, go ahead and count it as a long rest. Now, I will say, Ivan, the exhaustion that you felt, you do still feel a little bit groggy, a little bit depleted, but more in that kind of like emotional sense. Like if you needed to do something physical, you would still be strong. But you definitely feel in your inner being that frenzy did kind of take something out of you. But you sleep for an hour, you and in fact, this is an excellent time for all of us to take a little 5-10 minute bio break in case anybody needs to use facilities or whatever. We will meet back here in 10 minutes. So I will see all of you at 8:50. And we will get into it with a little bit of group therapy in D&D.
All right. See you then.
Thanks.
All right.
So, hey, Matt.
What's up, dude?
When
We're
I
still
made...
streaming, by the way.
Oh, no! Don't let the world hear my question. I'm just kidding. When I made this character, one of the things you can take is 2 hand crossbows.
Okay.
It's like the equipment thing.
Mhm.
I don't really understand crossbows versus longbows versus short bows. I mean, obviously there's some damage differences and range differences.
Yeah, that's all. And how you get proficiency with them.
Gotcha.
So
I mean,
like
but they're
elves
both martial weapons, right?
I think there's a short bow that's not a martial weapon. But yeah, I
like a
think the
simple weapon.
crossbow is a martial weapon and the longbow is a martial weapon too.
There's also
So-
a feat that lets you get good at crossbowing.
Yeah, but so they've given me the option to take 2 hand crossbows. So I'm assuming I can wield 2 hand crossbows.
Yeah.
Can I fire 2 hand crossbows?
Here, let me look it up. Does it say two-handed?
No, they are one-handed.
So that's part of what crossbow expert feat does. It makes that work better. I don't remember this, but
So
without
crossbow
that feat, it doesn't
expert-
work nearly as well.
So crossbow expert, you ignore the loading property of crossbows with which
Mhm.
you're proficient. Being within 5 feet of a hostile creature doesn't impose disadvantage. And when you use the attack action and attack with a one-handed weapon, you can use a... okay, so that's the thing.
So
So
they are
until you
one-handed
get
weapons.
that,
Yeah.
right? But until you get crossbow expert feat, there's really no reason to have 2
No,
I-
you could
hand
get
crossbows.
Yes.
some benefit from it because you can use two-handed fighting with it.
Yeah.
Like anybody can fight two-handed. It's just you have to use your bonus action to attack with your other hand,
Mhm.
and you don't get to add your proficiency bonus to it, I think.
Yeah. And then you have issues with the loading. That's what part of getting rid of the loading or ignoring the loading feat
Oh.
makes it so that, like, I think something like the first round you could shoot with both of them, but then after that you wouldn't be able to use both of them
So,
because you got to load.
yeah, I saw that on like a Stack Exchange D&D discussion.
That's super loud.
But from what it's super loud.
Sorry.
So from what I can tell on D&D, the loading property says because of the time required to load this weapon, this is like the definition of loading weapon property. You can fire only 1 piece of ammunition from it when you use an action, bonus action, or reaction to fire it, regardless of the number of attacks you can normally make. But I have 2 weapons. I'm only
Right.
wanting to fire 1
Mhm.
piece of ammunition from it. So it doesn't seem like that has
Yeah, I
anything
think
to do with it.
I think rules as written, loading would not stop you from firing it twice each turn. I think you might, that's something where like another rule is that you can't do stuff that you wouldn't be able to do. So like if you're holding a crossbow, 1 crossbow in each hand, then the dungeon master, I think it's legitimate to ask like, what hand are you using to load the other crossbow? You know.
There might even be something somewhere. I have one of these in my campaign where it requires a free hand to load or something, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
So there are feats you can take to quick load, quick draw,
Stuff like that.
I know there's one that lets you like basically speed load your crossbow. It might be
yeah.
crossbow
The
expert.
ammunition weapon property does say you need a free hand to load a one-handed weapon.
There you go. Yeah.
So why is D&D saying take 2 hand crossbows?
Because
Right.
it's cool.
Yeah, so if
One of
they're
them might get destroyed. I don't know. I've got a bunch of daggers.
You have 2 hand crossbows.
Now,
The feet, you can fire 2 hand crossbows in a round. But if you wanted to start 2 crossbows size, then it seems like that's why those feats exist.
Yeah.
Unless you've got we're in the dreamscape and everything in the dreamscape, so I'm fine with that having
I
happened
have
for now. But
belt-fed hand crossbows.
belt fed. That
Yep,
sounds like
and I got
some,
downtime activity getting that made.
and I have
sounds
like
a-
bandoliers of bolts strapped across my chest.
I have a tiny elemental that sits there and loads my crossbow bolts.
Yeah. Can I ask you a different
It's
question?
just weird to me that the like level 1 character equipment, dialogue is one thing you can do is take 2 hand crossbows.
Mhm.
Because that immediately makes you think, oh, I'm going to be running around like that one guy who fires them.
So there's a
in that terrible
there's a
movie.
version of humans, the variant human, can get a feat right off the bat. So that's the way
Yeah.
that's the way Galen does it in my game. Is he's a variant human. He started off with crossbow expert, so he could
Gotcha.
double whammy.
Yeah, if you want to tweak your build to do that and be a variant human crossbow feat,
Nah, I don't. No, I'm just wondering what the deal is. I don't want to change anything.
okay, all good in the hood.
Hey, is my volume still really low?
It seems
It's
good.
better
it's
now.
better now.
Okay, great.
And LT, did you need to ask a question?
Yeah. Where are we in relation to the Gnome Wars, time-wise?
So those ended about 20 years ago.
Okay.
I
And
need to make a note of that.
okay. And how does the
Yeah.
crystal magic work?
Uh,
I think that might be relevant to my character.
okay. I mean, there are a lot of ways that crystal magic works. Is there a particular thing you wanted to do with it, or
What went wrong that killed Vitaltop's family?
interesting? Well, we are past
Our break
time, and that is a open-ended question. Why
Okay.
don't you and I offline, and we can kind of
Okay.
flesh that out, so that we can start introducing that into the world. Unless you want to, you'll have time for that in group therapy if you want to flesh that out. So
You don't quite remember their repressed memories. You have
that's
to
Why
right.
he
go
was
digging.
crying about the little boy.
You guys, everybody ready?
Yep.
Okay. Welcome back, adventurers, to
Glee.
the most intense journey of them all, the journey within. As all of you enter the group therapy room, you see that this room, the ground is covered in. There's a bubbling little spring over in the corner, and there are lots of low trees over, and you see little lights tinkling around up above you near the ceiling, little fireflies darting in and out of the canopy of the leaves. And you see Brick and Rock are seated already on a couple of cushions that are arranged in a circle. And all of you, there's a cushion for each of you. As you all have a seat, Brick welcomes you and says,
Now, this was dangerous adventure, and all of you performed admirably. I must say, I'm so proud of each of you. this was.
And maybe you have.
Have lots of feelings to process. So I hand talking stick to Enion. All right, no, to he was giving the stick to first.
Enion.
So Enion, yeah.
First fighting
Hands
spirit.
the stick to you, Enion, and he says,
Please share your truth.
Enion, please, if you would, roll me a d12.
A D12. How about a 6?
As you receive
The stick
says out loud with its own voice, this appears to be a sentient stick. The stick says, short-term goal you have.
Neon goes, ugh, and drops it.
says,
Are scary.
they reveal things about ourselves.
Ourselves like our hopes that are hard to express, hard to admit to others, even ourselves. Okay, we come back to you.
He picks up the stick and hands it top. Waggletop, roll me a d12.
12.
The stick says, to forgive your enemies or your friends who have...
What friends have failed me ever? Ivan? Killing everything? Why?
This good.
Strong feelings.
Good to ask questions instead of make
I
accusations.
may have lost my only chance. Here comes the accusation. I may have lost my only chance to return to my true self.
Your truth.
Ivan
Go ahead.
just scratches the back of his head, and you can tell he does feel kind of uncomfortable from the accusation, like, sorry.
Did you meet
Your friend
Waggletop in his not true form with your actions?
No, I just... When I let the anger loose, my listening skills.
This true. Anger is enemy of listening. We would all to remember this. Waggletop,
you hear
Ivan's truth.
I suppose.
progress.
You see Brick has a big fat tear begin rolling down his cheek.
Waggletop, please pass stick.
Crocular is next to you. Very good. Crocular,
I'll take the stick.
you receive the stick from Waggletop. Roll me a d12, please.
2.
Name one thing you like about yourself and why.
I have to say, I'm really incredible at art. I've reached a level of understanding of aesthetic reality that has seldom before been achieved by any elf. In fact, I've gotten in touch with beings from beyond space and time, and they've opened up a whole new realm of aesthetics and philosophy, and the rules are not the rules anymore, and everything is changing. He's
Prattling.
Rules
gets
changing.
a little emotional.
Rules, do you feel like are changing in your world?
Well, morality, for starters, not real. And ugliness, actually, significantly more beautiful than Beauty. And
Ivan shakes his head.
I something to contribute? That trick question. You're not holding stick yet. Crocular.
here you go.
Jared, please roll me a d12.
4.
Describe yourself.
Oh, sorry. The stick says, describe yourself in 3 words.
Big, strong, angry.
Sometime it good to know your brand. This can be comforting when, like Crocular say, rules change from beneath you. Ivan, please pass stick to Boslin.
Jacob,
Ivan
please roll
does
me
not-
a d12. Oh, go ahead.
Ivan does not make eye contact with Boslin as he puts it over to the side.
Boslin reciprocates this level of contempt and picks up the stick.
Jacob,
what do I
please roll
roll?
me a d12.
All right. 1.
What?
The stick says, I keep trying to
Deep breath, sorry.
The stick says, what was the big idea that the dream was trying to tell you?
Boslin's gonna look up at Brick, kind of like, well, what was the big idea that the dream was trying to tell us?
Wise. Sometimes to do is
Not reach for answer.
but really sit with the question.
And takes the stick from you and says,
Maybe for all of us. What was big idea Dream was telling you? Please, anyone. No wrong answers.
Don't let demons invade. Just as a general.
When you see
Having
a problem,
boundaries
shoot
with
it.
our inner demons are very important. Very hustling. Very wise.
and he kind of
Or
gives you
the
a little.
external ones. Those two. Just in general, really. They're all not very pleasant from my experience.
Non-existence is also a form of beauty.
Tell me more. This interesting idea.
Well, how can I explain it at such a simplistic level?
Why don't you go paint a painting about it?
Excellent idea. And he gets out some paper and a pencil and starts sketching something incomprehensible.
Very good. Does anybody else have alternative form of expression they wish to engage in? May not want to limit to words. Maybe you have interpretive hand gestures you wish to make.
Inion Tumley shoots an arrow at Brick, but doesn't try to hit him.
You do not have any weapons on you right now. You had all of your
Inion
gear
Tumley
in.
imagines he shoots an arrow at Brick, but not trying to hit him, just trying to
Okay.
startle him.
Well,
Crocular finishes his drawing and he holds it up, and it's like a really beautiful portrait of like a strong, like wise old elf queen, right? And he looks Ivan dead in the eyes and he says, "Watch." And he just slowly rips it into little pieces. Just destroys it. Rip. Rip. Eye contact the whole time. Rip.
that was your first good one.
You're starting to understand, I think.
I don't know. There are some people I think I shouldn't listen to, but if I would have listened to Waggletop, well, we could have talked to the hunter and found out what the purpose was.
Sometimes you learn about things through metaphors instead of words.
I may be
Rick
stuck
looks
as
really
an
confused for a minute.
improvisational gnome forever.
Say that again.
Boslin,
I may be stuck as an improvisational gnome forever.
tragic. Brick, Boslin is going to raise his hand sort of slowly. Could I have another turn with the talking stick? I feel like mine sort of didn't pan out very well.
Boslin has requested talking stick. Please.
And he
All
still
right.
has it in his hand, I think.
No, Brick took it from me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like the
Rick hands it back to you.
All right. I rolled a 5. So
If you were all better and living out in the world,
probably I'd be an exorcist.
That's very requires lots of religious training. What church do you think you would join? What religious organization?
I don't know. I'd just be an impromptu exorcist. You know, you see a demon and it's just like, oh, it's a demon. Get rid of it. Stab it. I don't know. Whatever works at the moment, you know?
Can do at the moment. Very wise. Very wise.
a stick back from you and hands it to Crocular. And the stick says, "If a horse is about to hurt someone, would you help them?"
Boslin snaps his fingers and is like, ooh, I know this one. And he's just gonna like put his hand on his face.
Brick tackles you to the ground. 340 pounds of orc over you, and you see his eyes glare wide and says,
Never violate sanctity. Talking stick in my group.
and he gets up, puts you back down on the pillow, brushes off your shoulders, and sits down and turns and stares at Crocular.
What color is the horse?
"The horse is Roan," says the talking stick.
Roan horses are in this year. I let it bite the person. Bite the person?
Brick takes the stick back from you, and you see for the first time actual on his face, and he says,
I really thought we were making progress here. Clearly, we have much more.
So Brick guides all of you in a continued session where the stick gets passed around for a while, and finally he takes the stick.
This was good warm up. But seriously, we have big problem. Tell me, what signs of Karen's evil did you see? There were parts of it that you saw. Once I realized you were in danger, I had to get Inion and Rock and come to help. Tell me, evil, what signs of perversion of Karen did you see in the dream?
They tried to get inside our heads. I could feel it. It was like an anger, but not mine. But I shook it, and I don't think they did. Everybody else was trying to eat this goat man.
Everyone else trying to eat Goatman?
Yeah,
What?
he
The
wasn't
satyr?
doing anything wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted him to be very clean.
Wait,
I think it's
and then
pronounced satire, actually. I don't mean to
Satyr?
interrupt, but like,
No, it's okay. It's okay. There's no stick. We're in kind of freeform mode now. Don't.
oh, okay, good.
There was Satyr? I did not see
Yeah.
this. Me.
It was in love with Crocular for some reason.
Perversion of.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
This sounds like maybe a dream curse. So it fell in love with you. Some of you wanted to eat it. What else?
It was trying to steal from me, if that helps.
You see Brick leans over and mutters something to Rock, and Rock shakes his head. Rock shrugs his shoulders, but then you see Rock kind of turn his head to the side a little bit. He whispers something into Brick's ear, and Brick turns to Rock and says,
I don't. This is a mystery and a danger. I do not know if you are all safe in the dreamscape anymore. Karen should not be able to. You are coming. She should not be able to anticipate you. Boslin, tell me of this demon that you saw.
Well, first, when we first got into the dreamscape, there was one like in the woods, I think, but it flew away before I could try and catch it and kill it. And then later, Ivan pointed out that I had been infested by this demon, like literally, like when they tied me up, or I tied me up, and then they put me in this tent, and then later when you and the mechanical goose, when they came in, this weird witch person helped me. Well, she stabbed me, and then I gave birth to that demon that I saw in the forest. So either
when you say
I've been
sorry,
exorcised.
when you say give birth, you notice his eyebrows go up. Keep going.
Well, I wasn't like actually giving birth. That would be weird. She like opened my belly and like it popped out with all the other organs. And then she healed me. I don't actually know what happened there, but to make a long story short, demons. Which are
Everybody
bad.
roll me. Religion
check.
14.
12.
2.
15.
Well,
2.
Crocular. Recognize from the word dream and old witch that Aslan is speaking of is manifestation of the energy of, or perhaps even of Oyakununwe, who is one of the ancient of the land. She is not a god of good or evil, not a god of law or chaos, but a midwife of the dreamscape. Actions of a midwife that she was delivering this demon from Boslin. You are the only one. You see that everyone else is completely puzzled and has no idea what's going on.
I think that this was probably Oya Kununye.
Oya Kun Unwe. Oya is what refers to her for short.
Oya Kununwe.
Yeah.
Okay. Care to elaborate?
Do you share this in group, or do you keep it to yourself?
Yeah.
I do share it.
Okay. As soon as you point this out to everyone, Brick says,
You were in grave danger, Boslin. But this was not entirely of your own doing. Ivan, the words you spoke over Boslin, telling he had a demon within him, these are dangerous words. Karen used them, twisted them, took the opening, and planted a seed of the nightmare within your friend Boslin. Be careful with your words. They are true. Be careful where and how you cut with them. You are new to dream. Everybody makes sometimes, but a grave one. Be careful the curses that you place upon another in that place. It needs to be perverted by evil.
Ivan looks over at Waggletop, since Waggletop was actually the one who said it, but Ivan does not say that out loud.
Waggletop kind of hangs his head and says, "That was me, actually."
Waggletop, do you have anything to say to Boslin? And Ivan, I'm sorry. That I should have fact-checking.
Pointing fingers.
Waggletop, do you have anything to say to Boslin?
Boslin, I will try to give you more helpful words in the future.
Thanks. Just if it happens again, just make sure you have like a weapon ready to take care of the demon, because it got away this time. I prefer that did not happen. That it got away.
But you gotta stop freaking out about demons.
I mean,
he was kind of right. You were kind of doing that already.
But yeah, but like they're demons. Like you're not gonna invite one over to a tea party. This is like demons we're talking. Do you have a dictionary? He looks at Brick.
Now, to be fair, I have had 2 or 3 delightful tea and crumpet sessions with a couple of demons. You got to be careful about what you say and agree to, but some of them are scintillating conversationalists. That's a big word I've been learning this week.
Well, yeah, but no. You see, those are devils. Devils are generally, as long as you don't like accidentally sell your soul to them or tell them, hey, let's get a bite to eat and then sell your soul to them, they're fine. What I'm talking about is demons. They're like, he goes on this like whole religious tirade about how he was taught the difference between demons and demons, like the difference between there, and there. Just all that kind of like minute stuff. And he's just going to go on as long as anyone lets him.
Yeah, as soon as you hit this rock speaks up and says, absolutely none of is true, by the way. And he looks around at all of you and rats you out.
But Ivan actually would cut in pretty quickly and be like, "Don't you get it, Boslin? Didn't you hear? We lost the lesson because we weren't listening. I can see I wasn't listening, but you still can't see it. You weren't listening to anyone, and you killed everyone we were trying to talk to."
I was actually listening. I listened to the lady that said that there was a demon in me and that she was going to get it out, and then I let her get it out. So as far as I'm concerned, I won, all right? You guys might not have won, and that's okay. I understand that. But I won, so we're good. And he's going to give this like affirming look.
A lot of feelings here, a lot of feelings. Sounds like you missed the point. Ivan said you killed the bad guys that they were trying information from.
Team player
is setting aside your own agenda.
That's fair. Next time, I promise, I'll wait till after you ask them a question. But then, so long as we can agree that afterwards they turn into sushi, I'm fine with that afterwards, you know?
Also, the one person you listened to was a witch. Lady thing.
I mean, like, Cronkular explained that, like, she wasn't actually a demon, so it's okay. You can take her advice.
I
Worse
don't
than
think
a
you.
demon?
I don't think you know what a demon is. You were
I'm
calling the
pretty
goat
sure I know
man a
what a
demon.
is. Huh?
You were calling the goat man a demon. You were
And he
calling.
was a demon? He says,
No,
kind of
no, no.
inquisitively.
Very important distinction. Goatmen have some amount of evil in their blood, but goatmen not demons. Goatmen different from demons.
Right? My
And they have those
mistake.
weird
Devil.
eyes.
Again, very common misconception. A lot of people make it. Even I made it. I called the goatman demon when they're clearly devils. Devils, you can have a chat with them. Again, going into a long tirade about the difference between demons and devils.
Yeah, once again, Rock cuts you off and says, "Again, I feel it my duty to point out an utter lack of factual content to any of this fool's tirade.
Facts are
Pardon
for
me.
people that need fact checking. If it's a demon, it's a demon. And if it's a devil, it's a devil. There's a difference.
Clearly, we have much work cut out for us. Boslin, I would like to see at least 3 finger paintings from you about these ideas you have about demons, please. Thank you.
Sure.
Everybody, I think this good time. Everybody, please stand. Please hold hands. Okay.
Who are he looks around at the 5 roll die to see Waggletop. He points at you and says,
Waggletop, please select the affirmation as we close.
"You know, this is just like a we're all supposed to say together kind of thing."
So I just make something.
Oh yeah. You just got to come up with some sort of affirmation.
May we all return to our true form.
You all repeat.
We all repeat together. May we all return to our true
To our
forms.
true form.
May we all, yeah.
I'm glad to be my full size again, though it was very freeing to be a little boy again for a little while. Well, all of you, please enjoy the tea and cookies that I have had the staff leave in your rooms. Good work today, everybody. Please have much work to do tomorrow.
As all of you return to your rooms, you find a plate of tea and cookies. But let me make a roll here. As you are sitting at your chair, eating your cookies, sipping on your tea, a raven alights upon the room. And this raven appears to be almost 2.5 feet tall. It's bigger than any raven from nature. You know this. And it looks at you with preternaturally intelligent eyes and caws and says,
Not safe! Eyes upon you! This place! Not safe! Not safe! Flee!
and it turns and flaps in a cloud of black feathers and flies out into the dark of the night. And with that, we shall hit pause on our adventure. When next we meet, our intrepid will have to deal with the consequences, the looming dangers of apparently the wrathful eye of Karen being upon them, even in this place of safety and occlusion. Everybody can hit stop or pause on their